Now, the point that I'm trying to make is that if Gary Sanchez was in that situation and dropped that,
Yeah.
you would not hear the end of it. The world would literally end and hell would freeze
Yeah.
over. I see your shirt. What's going on there? Is that your feelings right now with the Yankees' current status?
No.
Are you sure with how
I'm
they've
not
been
there.
playing?
I'm good, man.
What is it?
I'm good. I'm kind of indifferent right now. I'm not. It hasn't hit me yet. I'm just like I'm hanging in there, doing my best.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm
So,
not. I'm not. I'm just kind of, the first week is feeling it out. There's a reason why John Sterling doesn't tell you batting averages until you get to 50 at bats, because the beginning's a little rocky. You know, you would know. I mean, you've got the lists of all the F wars and B wars on your Twitter, so I mean, you should know when people get off the hot starts.
he
Because
literally hates that I've been posting F4 numbers every single day.
it's been like 2 games. The Mets haven't even played a game yet.
It
And
is
you're
what it
actually posting
is.
F wars and B wars like MVP voting is tomorrow.
Hey, I gotta inform the people who are the F4 leaders on every given day, okay? From
Yeah, you're
start
right. I
to
follow your
finish of the
Twitter.
season.
I need to know. Oh, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Who's seventh in F4 right now in the third game of the season? Oh, let me go look it up on Twitter real quickly. Hold up. Let me just type this in real quick.
You're
There it is.
making me feel like Squidward on your shirt right now. That's not nice. You're making me feel like Squidward. Don't do that. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about some Yankee baseball. I mean, the Yankees start off 1-2. I think the thing that I'm going to say immediately before we jump into this podcast, I know you'll agree with me, but can we just stop with the overreactions, please? It's 3 games. Like, I get it. Especially with the walk-off loss on opening day, it
Yeah,
hurts. It stings. I get it. Like, I'm not saying you can't be upset about it. Like, it is what it is, but it's like people that genuinely think the season's over after 1 game, it's just like, stop. Like, delete your Twitter account. Please stop tweeting. Like, go take a chill pill. Go find a therapist. Talk about your feelings. Go talk about it to someone, because it's like,
Go
it
tweet
just
about F4 and B
it
wars.
just make yeah, go do what I do. Tweet about the F4 leaders every single day. Okay, do something other than overreact. It's not productive. It makes no sense. I don't understand why people are overreacting over 1 game, let alone 3 games. It's dumb. It's stupid. Like, let's just
I
the
feel
Yankees are
like
going to be fine.
they should have a better start.
I mean, the Yankees have been known in the past to just be one of those teams that they basically get off to a slow start. I mean, this is nothing new. This has happened quite frequently throughout pretty much most of my life in general. Can't speak for other, older generations, but at least most of my life, the Yankees just they really aren't that great of a team in the beginning. They got to heat up a little bit, and that's okay. Some teams need longer to heat up than others. But, at the end of the
Really
day, I'm still thinking, I'm still going to believe the Yankees are winning that division, and I'm still thinking they're going to win at least 95 plus games. So the Yankees are going to be fine. There's no
If
worry
you win
about it.
95 games, that means you're going to lose 67. That's a lot of losing. You're going to lose 67. That's that's a lot of games. You're going to lose them in bunches, and you just got to remember, sometimes you're going to lose series, and that happens. It's fine. Move on. Doesn't matter.
Let's talk about Gary Sanchez, though. Can we talk
Do we
about
have
him?
to?
Can we
Do we
talk
have
about
to talk
Gary
about him?
Sanchez?
'Cause
Yes,
you
we
and I are
do.
just gonna wax poetic about the guy. Like, is there any reason to talk about him? Let's talk about. You know what? Everyone's sad. Let's just stay sad. Let's just talk about the bad times. Let's not talk about Gary for one day. Let's just talk about the sad things for once.
I
For once, we don't have to bring him up because we're here defending the guy. We're just gonna talk about everything else.
Okay, well, I gotta mention something real quick. I gotta get off my chest. I know I talked to you about it, but I have to talk to the people now who are watching this
Oh
podcast.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
If you guys watched the Angels game last night, you would see there was a disaster of basically 2 errors that led to the White Sox tying the game up and getting back into the game, even though the White Sox had no business even getting it back into the game that they played against the
Well,
Angels. But
yeah.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's what I'm going to say about it, okay? Max Stassi, the catcher for the Angels, completely butchered what would have been a usual routine called third strike. He should have caught it. Goes behind him. He has to go back and hustle for it, makes a bad throw, etc., etc. Now, the point that I'm trying to make is that if Gary Sanchez was in that situation and dropped that,
Yeah.
you would not hear the end of it. The world would literally end and hell would freeze
Oh,
over.
yeah. That's
It's
true.
just,
Everyone would be
it
like,
is
"Oh,
true.
lazy Gary, here he's back. He dropped the third strike. Oh, missed the throw. Oh, 2 runs on Gary." Like everyone would be so mad. Everyone would have been furious. They'd have been like, "Trade him, send him to the Mets. I'm over this. Blah, 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 send him away. Trade him for a bag of peanuts." Everybody, no one would care. They would trade this guy for a bologna sandwich if they could. But no, here we are.
Yeah, so I just had to get that off my chest. Gary Sanchez, he looks great. I mean, even today, today he didn't have the best game in the world like he has the last 2 games. But I mean, he looked good at the plate. This was actually his first time he struck out today. And he's hit
Yeah, he
2
struck
home
out
runs
today.
on.
That was the first time.
And
What's his strikeout percentage?
I don't even know. It's good. It's like, and also like he's not swinging at a bunch of garbage. Like a lot of those breaking pitches that I saw were really good breaking pitches that could fool a majority of hitters. And Gary was laying off of them, and it's like that's what I want to see.
When he got a 99-mile-an-hour heater up in his head, and he's just like, "Oh shit."
But it's just like Gary just looks so great. Like it makes me so happy. And it's like, yes, I only get it's 3 games. I get it. Let's see what happens in the long stretch. But Gary Sanchez is pretty much the only reason why the Yankees even have a win in the first place. He literally is pretty much the only reason why they have a win in the first place. And he almost won the game single-handed for them on opening day. So it's just like, you got to give props to Gary. Like, it doesn't matter how much you hate him. You just got to admit that he's been good recently. He's been great.
I think Baseball Savant might be broken because Gary's strikeout percentage is 0 right now.
It's definitely not 0. It's definitely not 0. He struck out at least once.
It's not 0, Baseball Savant. I can assure you that.
So Gary Sanchez, he's looked great. He's looked awesome. The pitching. Let's talk about the pitching. Pitching has been awesome. Michael King.
Okay.
Michael King, 6 innings pitched.
Yeah,
no earned runs. What happened? What happened?
Mad. He was on fire today. Man, I wish Michael King would have started this game.
His fastball just looked electric, and some of his breaking pitches just looked outstanding. And I'm like, can we get that more often from King? Like it was so unfortunate. It was so unfortunate that King pitched that well and the Yankees had to lose the game.
This is going to be a very unfortunate thing, but that might have been the one time we see Michael King because he probably gets sent down to go bring up Wilson off the injured list coming up. So, I mean, that might have been it. I mean, especially for the fact that he threw 6 innings today. We're not going to see him for like 3 days at least. Like, he's not going to – I don't think he's going to pitch at all against Baltimore. So, yeah, just set him down, bring up Wilson, call it a day. Have a nice day.
Here's a fun fact. So, Domingo Germán, 3 innings, 3 earned runs, 68 pitches. Michael King, 68 pitches, just like Germán, but 6 innings, no earned runs. It's like,
yeah. I mean, look, that's
fabulous.
What happens when you throw up like a 4-pitch inning and then come right back the next inning with like a 7-pitch inning. It happens, I mean, that's what happens. I mean, the guy was getting outs early and was getting not behind in counts, and that's what you want to see out of Michael King. You get ahead early, and then you just send him back to the dugout. Call it a day. He's got the stuff to do it. Just challenge people. Don't throw balls. You got this.
And
we should do it more often.
Outside of that, I think a really interesting thing to talk about was, I'm assuming you watched the game. There was a hit, whenever Frazier got on base. I don't know if you saw what happened with Frazier. Yeah, the heads up base running.
The hell out of that double.
Yeah, the heads up base running, and then he also ended up taking third base, and then ended up driving a run across, crossing home plate. Just beautiful work done by Frazier.
I don't know if you saw the end of the game, but some reporter comes up, and this person's a real job with a real something, and they actually looked him in the face and said, "Do you think you're a good left fielder?" And I'm like, can you just not ask a question ever again? Like, are you kidding me? What do you want him to say? No? What do you want him to say?
Do you know what that question reminds me of? I actually tweeted about this earlier. It reminds me of that one time that I think it was Yale and Baylor were playing, and the reporter was like, "How did you get more rebounds than the other team?"
Oh yeah, it went up and they grabbed the ball and they came down with it. That's a rebound, and they got more of those than we did.
It's like,
I love it. I know that clip. That's a great clip. It's like, don't ever ask any questions again. They probably write for the Post. I'm just saying. Considering their high level of journalism we've seen in the last couple days and weeks, they might work for the Post. It wouldn't surprise me. But no, that's so stupid. First off, he's playing right field. Second off, he had a pretty good game today. I mean, like, he had some trouble with some balls in the high sky. It's fine. I'll get over it.
Mm.
But like, he hustled the hell out of it. The only run we scored today was because of him. Then this person comes up and is just like, "Do you think you're a good left fielder?" Like, go away. Go talk to somebody else. Go ask Aaron Hicks if he's having trouble seeing the baseball. Go ask Giancarlo if he's having trouble sleeping at night. Just don't ask Clint Frazier if he thinks he's a good left fielder. Leave it alone. Go away.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That question caught me off guard and made
This is
no
so
sense.
stupid.
Just literally, there was no place, no
That's
reason to
just
be asking that question.
wasted everybody's time. You might as well have just asked if there's snow tomorrow. Like, don't do that.
But let's talk about Stanton. I think it's kind of ironic that Stanton and Urshela are both starting off, horribly, which it is what it is. It's 3 games. They'll be fine. But at the same time, it's like both have been really bad these last, well, at least Stanton didn't play today, but they've been really bad, both of them. And I'm hearing boos for Stanton, but I don't hear anything towards Urshela. And I'm like, they're literally both playing equally bad baseball right now. Like,
they're both a little bit messy.
Like, I'm not encouraging booing. Like, I hate booing. Booing sucks. Like, stop booing. Like, don't be that. Don't be that.
Don't be real. I don't think they care.
Don't be that person to boo. Like, honestly, like, no, I'm sure that they don't. I'm sure that the players don't mind. But like, I'm still one of those people. It's just like, don't be that guy who boos. Like, come on.
It's kind of like you got paid, $30 million a year, and you come to work and someone's just like, "Yo, bro, you suck." You just be like,
"Yeah, I'm still making bank.
Sure.
I don't care.
Sure,
I'm
man.
living it up."
So, I was like, "You want to take a swing? You can take a swing."
But it's just like Stanton, like they both have really bad series so far.
It's so weird.
Just...
Stanton seems uncomfortable up at the plate all of a sudden. Maybe it's just the Blue Jays pitching staff. Maybe they're, I don't know. Maybe he's just uncomfortable being here right now. All of a sudden the change to a 3-deck stadium has freaked him out a little bit. I don't know. Looks uncomfortable at the plate. Hicks equally kind of looks like he's a little late. He's got a little, he just kind of seems like he's not ready in time. It just kind of seems like the ball will be 90 miles an hour and he's just panicking. Like he's not picking the ball up well yet. Maybe it's the sun. Maybe it's the time of the day the games are. This is a random stat, but I'm pretty sure the Yankees just crush night games, and we have trouble in day games. I think that might be the case. I think you see them in the next series in night games. I think they'll do much better. I just think that right now they're unaccustomed to the stadium with the shadows in the low sun. It's not conducive to them doing well, and that doesn't really matter at any time in the seasons of the playoffs. It doesn't matter because usually night games.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I didn't really think about that, to be honest with you. But
I think it might just be the construction of the stadium. Whenever I go to a game and I'm sitting in the bleachers and I'm trying to watch the game, like between like 5 and 6, the sun is like right behind the trellis attachment and it's just like shadows everywhere. So I would imagine that like earlier in the day there's some other shadows that come into play, especially like around the pitcher. Like we've seen day games where like the pitcher's mound is in the sunlight, then the ball goes through the shadows to get to the batter. It could be that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm not freaking out. That's why I'm okay with this. Like, we'll see what happens in the night game. They always do better at night anyway. I don't know. Just me. It always feels like they win night games. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I want to look that up.
Let's talk about the pitching, though. I mean, just like outside of like we've already discussed, King and what happened with Herman today, but Garrett Cole. I thought Garrett Cole looked good. I mean, I know he was pretty annoyed with his start, especially after giving that absolute meatball slider of a home run. But I mean, I think Garrett Cole pitched well. It's his first game. He's only going to ramp up. He's getting warmed up as we go along. Even looking at Corey Kluber on the game that the Yankees won, the second game. Corey Kluber's he walked 3 batters. The command wasn't all there. But the thing that I really liked about Kluber is that, he was walking a lot. The command was kind of all over the place. But he only allowed 1 earned run. He was still battling out there. Yeah. He was able to get out of these jams. And that's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for.
I'm not going to be mad. Like, look, they wanted to keep them a little short. I mean, obviously, later in the season, you'd probably see them pitch another inning or so. But, like, it's the beginning of the season. Corey hasn't pitched. He pitched 1 inning last year. Just let him get out there and get his feet wet. I'm not really worried about it. By the way, last year, day games 8 and 9 with a 229 average, 324 on base, 735 OPS. Night games 25 and 18 with a 254 average and an 809 OPS. So we played better at We play better at night games.
There you go. The Yankees play better at night games. Honestly, I kind of like figured that though, because it seems like every time that we have a game in the afternoon, which is usually I would say are like Saturdays and Sundays for the most part, um, it always seems like the Yankees just kind of struggle and don't score as many runs,
Uh,
and they don't put up a barrage of runs like they do at night games. That I might
Same
be
thing.
crazy, but
Same thing in 2019. Higher OPS at night, higher average at night, more wins at night.
well, there you go. The Yankees are better at playing at night,
Random
which I
stat
mean
of the
makes sense.
day. I don't know. Well, they went. I think they went at one more. It's pretty close. I can't do the math in my head. But I liked Cole's start. I mean, obviously he made the one mistake. The offense should have scored more runs for him, but Hyunjin Ryu was great that day. And also, I think Cole needs to be careful with his hand. Please don't break that. That's paying a lot of money for that a year. No, thank you. Please be careful. Learn. I don't care if people are gonna freak out. Like, I think this is a great game where you can, bash trash cans or like break dugout phones or like take a bat to a garbage can. You can do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt anybody and don't hurt yourself. All right, don't do that. So use your left hand, Garrett. Just learn to punch the bubble gum with your left hand. Okay?
If you guys don't know what he's talking about, I actually captured one of the videos of it, so I'll actually put it in here after this. But as you see from that video, Garrett Cole, after giving up
After the home run.
the home run, and then after being out, being done with the game, and Boone pulling him out, he ended up going to the dugout and kind of
Yeah, he's a
banging
contender.
his hand like that. So it's not ideal.
And David Cohn's like, use your left hand, please. And I agree with him. I want to see Garrett. He can freak out. He can show that energy. Get rid of it. It's good for you. But be careful, please. Don't get hurt, please.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need that. We don't need more of that. Just be careful.
Do you know who I really want to talk about? I want to talk about Johnny Loizaga. This man has been filthy. He looks great so far.
Yeah, it's a shame that we didn't get to pitch him today because he's, out of innings. But man, he's figured out how to pitch now, and it's disgusting. Like he's got everything working. That changeup is very Tommy Canley-esque almost, isn't it? It's like Tommy Canley if you gave him a curveball. It's like a high 90s fastball, low 90s changeup, which is just disgusting. And that curve is nasty. I don't want to deal with it. And a slider too, I think. I don't know if it's a slider curve or what, but filth.
Yeah, Loizaga's got a filthy arsenal. It's never been about whether he has it or not. He's always had the potential. It's whether or not he can command his pitches, and he just looks great. He looked great all spring training long, and now he looks great now, and I'm so happy.
And the people who used to be like, "Oh, I don't want this guy, trade him." That was when he was a starter. It's fine. We knew he wasn't going to be a starter. He clearly wasn't cut out for him. But clearly his skill set seems to lean more towards the reliever, and he's a really solid reliever because he can let it go. He's just throwing 90, 98, 99 with run. It's just filthy. I don't know. I wouldn't want to face that guy. I'm good. We've always known he can pitch. I'm just glad to see him put together finally after all these years. I think we saw him first in 18 or 19? I think it was 18. He came up late. Crazy. I think he came right at a double A, I think.
Did you get the information?
I'm looking.
Oh, you're looking up for okay.
2018 was his first year, 2-0. With a rather high ERA.
Nice. So I think the other thing that we should talk about, and it's pretty much the most obvious topic to talk about. Probably maybe should have started off with it, but it's better to talk about it now than never. Is just
look, you gotta ease in sometimes. You just gotta get your feet wet before you jump in.
The pitching looks great. We're done talking about the pitching. I don't have to say anything more about it. But the offense is just it's 3 games. I'm not worried. We need to stop overreacting. But the matter of the fact is that the Yankees offense was bad this series, and they got to get it going. And they are going to get it going. I know they will. There's no way. They're too talented not to. But the fact remains that this offense was lackluster, and it was bad. It was just genuinely bad. At least, you know what I will say? I am happy that DJ is back to doing DJ things. Because I know, for most spring, it just seemed like he kept grounding it out into fielders' gloves. DJ in general just didn't look good at the spring. But, it's spring training, That's what you're there for. You experiment during spring training. I was never worried about DJ. It's just nice to see him come back to where he's at now. And it's going to take time. Like I said in the past with the Yankees, they always tend to start off pretty poorly in the beginning of April. I mean, look at 2019. I think the Yankees were, what was it? Was it like 9-14 or 9-13 after they dropped the series to the Astros and got swept? I think it was 9-13. So it's just like, this team always has always had a bad habit of just kind of starting off poorly and needing to heat up. But that's the thing. It's like by the time that we get to like May and June, which I know a lot of people get impatient. They're like, I need to see something now, which, the Yankees will be fine in April. But especially once we start getting to like, I would say like late April to like the beginning of May, you're really going to start seeing a ramped up Yankees offense that's going to be punishing team after team after team. And that's what they usually always do. It takes them a while to ramp up. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I thought today was a very weird game. It was very weird because we only struck out 6 times in the entire game. I thought that was very weird. Like, they weren't really missing the ball very much. They were just kind of just barely off. Like, it seems like they were putting the bat on the ball very well today, but just didn't have any results to show for it. I mean, Judge in the first inning hits a screaming line drive right at Simeon. I'm like, you can't do anything. You just gotta laugh. Like, it was an okay game. Like, they didn't swing and miss very much as compared to the first 2 games. Looked like they had a better eye this game. Just nothing to show for it. Just, tip your cap. They had their defenders in the right place at the right time, and they threw us out. And we'll fight that fight another day. But we'll come back. We still have 16 more games against the Blue Jays. We'll find our way. I'm not too worried right now. Their pitching depth was stretched to the absolute limit. Like, all they needed was one big hit, and that's it. The Jenga tower would collapse, but didn't have it today or the day before or the day before. But you know what? I'm convinced we're gonna have it soon.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, at the end of the day, like, I was talking to somebody on Twitter about it, and I was like, even a team like the Pirates, even as poorly as they play,
they won a game.
Even the Pirates can beat good teams like the Dodgers, and
shut the Cubs down the other day.
And that's the thing. It's like even bad teams can win series against good teams, and it happens. And I'm not saying the Blue Jays are bad because they're not bad.
No,
they're a very good team. They're going to be exciting for the future. If you're a Blue Jays fan, you should be excited about this team's future.
Blue Jays have probably the best lineup other than ours in our division. There's no stepping.
Yeah, but the point is that even bad teams like the Pirates or even like the Tigers or something like that can beat and win series against good teams. It happens. It's baseball. You can't predict it. Things happen. The Yankees will be fine. I'm not worried about it. Stop overreacting. Stop acting like the world's ending. It's not going to be that big of a deal. I guarantee the Yankees are going to go out here now, and especially with the night game logic that you're talking about with the stats to back it up, I guarantee the offense wakes up and we win 2 out of 3. It's a 3-game series, right?
Always. We love it'll be a night game later on, but we love it whenever we go to Camden Yards because we always get right at Camden Yards. I feel like it's just Yankee Stadium style. We always get right there, and it's great. That's exactly what you're gonna need.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, wait, no, the Yankees actually play in the Bronx tomorrow. Yeah, we play at home against the Orioles. Yeah, our first road game isn't until the next series when we play the Rays, which I'm ready for it. But I mean, we'll see how that goes. That's a topic for another day. But is there anything else that you wanted to talk about and get off your shoulder? I mean, I kind of talked about everything. I mean, the offense has been kind of Judge has been getting really unlucky, by the way. Like, it's really irritating me.
Batting average of 450, and he's got 2 hits this so far. It's kind of gross. Sucks. He hasn't really been striking out that much, but just double plays. This is what I'm talking about. I hate this. People are like, "No, just put the bat on the ball." Well, you know what? I'd rather Judge have just struck out both of those double plays. Genuinely, just please. Don't end the inning. Gets up with 1 man out and then just bangs into a double play. It was don't put the bat on the ball. No, I'd rather him strike out in that situation. Please, God.
Yeah, there's always arguments about that on Twitter, but there is no debating that 1 out is better than 2 outs. So,
I would take that in a heartbeat because as soon as the ball leaves the bat, he's gonna get doubled up. He's not the fastest guy in the world. There's a lot of person going down to first base. Sheesh.
Yeah, I agree with you. But at least, the one thing that I can really say outside of Gary Sanchez is that Clint Frazier just looks awesome. He's been really good. He played really good this series.
Left fielder, though.
Yeah, apparently he's a bad left fielder.
You know,
He's not good.
we have to
What,
ask.
what is Clint Frazier going to say? No, I'm not a good defender. I can't. Come
Yeah, I'm on
on.
the team, bro. What do you want me to say?
That's like asking somebody like in the postseason, be like, well, you guys are down 3-1 now. Do you guys
You're gonna be
think that
back
you're
home
going to be
again
able to
in
win the
3 games?
series? Are you going to come back tomorrow and win the game? Like, what do you want him to say?
You're
No?
down 3-1. It's like you're down 3-1. You're like, are you guys gonna be back here for Game 7? Like, what do you think? What am I supposed to say? No, I'm on the team, man. Like Chris Paul.
Like, nobody's going to say, like, I'm a loser or I suck or anything. Like, come on. Like,
You're like,
come
no,
on.
it's over.
Come
Like,
on,
what do you think?
man. Makes no sense. Like, let's stop with the silly questions. Let's get back to basics and start asking questions that are relevant, not silly, second grader questions that just have no place being asked in the first
You don't
place.
have a question. Just
Just shh. Just be quiet. Just don't.
It was posted on the baseball Reddit. 4 days in the season, we have a strong contender for worst interview question of the year.
That's bad. That's bad. That's really
That's a
bad.
strong contender.
That's bad. That's not great. But is there anything else that you want to talk about in the next 3 minutes? I would say. I don't know if there's anything that I didn't mention that you want to talk about, because I mean, I'm pretty much done, to be honest with you.
I had a lot of fun listening to the Blue Jays nickel and dime us the other day, basically hitting about 73 bloop singles into right field. Was very mad. I hate that so much. It felt like we just got destroyed by bloop singles so far. Do you think the deadened ball is actually affecting things? I saw you tweet about it. I don't think the deadened ball has anything to do with these results we're seeing. I think it's just a matter of wind conditions, and also because of the temperature, the ball is just not flying right now. Also, people are just getting jammed left and right. I don't know. I feel like when the weather warms up, we're going to see more home runs, but I don't think the ball is affecting the game that much. I think that it's just we're not getting clean contact yet from Major League pitching.
Well, I will say after watching the Angels game, well, tonight, but when this podcast comes out, it was last night when they walked it off against the White Sox. But there was an incident where the bases were loaded and Upton absolutely cranked it. And I'm like, there's no way the ball's not dead, because in any other season, that ball's gone. There's no way.
Wait, I want to go look this up on Savant now. Did you say it was the Angels game?
Yes, it was the Angels game. It was Justin Upton.
Justin Upton?
It was bases loaded, and he absolutely cranked one. Like, absolutely cranked one. And any other season, especially in the seasons previously where we've had a baseball that goes flying left and right, that would have been out in a heartbeat. There's no way.
It's at the top of every category. Top exit velocity, top distance, top pitch velocity, swings and misses. Top of every single one. What inning was this in? You know?
This was...
He struck out in the 4th.
I'm trying to find this.
Singled in the 5th. Upton hit by pitch in the 7th.
I can't find it. Oh, where is it? I can't find it. I really can't. That's not something that I thought I was going to be necessarily talking about at the moment.
Upton,
but
strikeout, single, hit by pitch. There was a fly out in the 2nd inning.
Yeah. Sack fly. The sack fly that went.
It was a 92 mile an hour. It was 92 off the bat. 26 exit launch angle. Went 356 to right. A 180 expected batting average. And I don't know. He hit it I think he kind of missed it. I mean, yeah, it looks good because the camera angle, but I think he just missed it.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's about all that we are going to talk about today. We'll talk about a lot more. Hopefully the Yankees win this series. We need a win, or we need a series win in general. If they sweep the Orioles, I'll be happy. I mean, that's the ideal goal. But at least if they take the series 2-1, I'll be happy. But other than that, if you guys did enjoy the podcast, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos or videos in general. Like the video, comment down below with suggestions in the future. And we will see you guys on the next podcast.